Amazon and the Pac-12 are talking, but that Amazon's reticent to do a deal because they are concerned about the quality of matchup. And I guess my question is, if Utah and Washington State last night are on Amazon Prime, is that a reason you would subscribe? Would you have watched this game on Amazon Prime last night? I can tell you I would rather have Amazon Prime than Pac-12 Network, which I currently, as a DirecTV customer, have no access to. But my question is, do you value, as a sports fan, do you value Amazon Prime as a platform? I think they're doing a much better job. They've improved significantly on Thursday Night Football. We watched a good bit of that game last night, even in Spanish language, which was mucho gusto.
Right.
Benintendi, like it was amazing. And watching that game on Amazon last night, I actually thought they did a great job, and I think Amazon's improved a lot. And then you hear Amazon talking about the fact that, hey, we would really like to have college football, and that they are engaged with the Pac-12 and the Big 12, and they have had conversations with the Big 10. And I guess my question is, are we just waiting for the first college football shoe to drop and everything's going to be on Amazon? And as a football fan, are you okay if all of your football, the NFL, college football, is going slowly but surely to Amazon Prime? I feel like I am. I'm an Amazon Prime customer. I watch Prime Video regularly. Mm-hmm. I think this is the norm now, not the exception.
Yeah, I think that, the biggest fight is going to be, the balance between being on a streaming app versus being on traditional TV. Like when it's Friday night and you've got hockey on and you've got, like the World Series, you've got, the NBA, and then you've got college football, and then to find college football, you got to hop over to the Amazon Prime app on your smart TV. But then, to get back to the NHL, you got to go to the DirecTV option on your TV. I think that's what people get burned out on. And I think that people are always reliably going to go to what's comfortable. And I think what's comfortable is where all of your options are easily available to you. So that would be my only hesitation. I think if you had premier matchups on Amazon, or if you had a lot of different matchups on Amazon, then I think, it becomes a little more palatable, because then there's different things to watch. But right now it's hey, we have this one, it's we have a special every week. We have one game every week that we're showcasing, essentially. And so that's why it's working for them right now. But as they pay for more media rights and they show more games, I think that becomes a little, it's just the water's a little murky on that, I feel like, because of the inconvenience of flipping back and forth. So for me, I have Amazon
Is that
Prime.
inconvenient?
Yeah, it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient as hell to have to because you've got so as a DirecTV customer, you've got your DirecTV remote. Then you've got your remote that came with your physical TV that allows you to
operate the smart TV part.
Yeah. So you're using multiple remotes. You're having to wait for it to load. If you don't have amazing internet, then you're going to have to wait for it to buffer and stream.
If you don't have amazing internet.
But you see what I mean? There are things here that don't make the viewing experience as comfortable.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting parts of this is that internet question, because I don't think, and I think a lot of us take it for granted. I can tell you, building this studio we're sitting in, gig speed internet was a huge deal. And I think that on the regular, how many people watching this show right now have gig speed internet? I would guess not most people. And I think that's a huge problem, because if you're a simple internet home customer, there's a real good chance that your streaming is not going to be great. You're going to buffer, you're going to spin, you're going to be loading. And I think that's a big part of this. But I think the other thing is that has to become the norm in this country. And I think if we're going to watch major sports on Amazon, it's going to be on a mobile device.
Yeah.
The day of watching Amazon Prime Video on your TV, I think those days are numbered. I truly do. I think when you look at the way that Amazon Prime is building their platform, They are very mobile phone friendly, iPad, tablet friendly. That's really where Amazon Prime's thriving. Now, are they on TV? Yes. And to your point, it is actually kind of a pain in the ass to have to switch to the smart TV. And I agree with you. But I think that's where we're going as consumers. I mean, I have to be honest with you. If Amazon offered a full tier package, if I could get Chicago PD on Amazon, I'd be watching it every week on Amazon. But I can't, and that's why I'm a subscriber to DirecTV, which I love.
Yeah.
But when you look at where Amazon is positioned, I do believe that when this all shakes out and college football expansion shakes out, that you are going to have Amazon Prime be the major streaming partner for all three, the Big Ten, the Pac-12, if it survives, and the Big 12. And I think listening to Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, talk about that, I think only validates my feelings on it.
How do you look at streaming as part of the television packages you're creating?
I think streaming is critically important. It's a way to reach younger consumers. But I think right now, my goal is to be on the broadest based platform possible, because we need to grow some of our emerging brands. We need to distribute the Big 12 as broadly as possible. But there's a place for that digital player. And, currently with ESPN, we have Big 12 Now on ESPN Plus. And as we continue the conversations with ESPN, I know there's a commitment to glamorizing us and showcasing us in the biggest way possible on their digital platform. And you'll see that in advance of any kind of extension, because we've got 2 more years after this one on our current deal. So digital plays a key component, and it's part of the mix.
It's interesting the way he says that, because he says digital. And I think anymore, you have to get on board with the fact that Amazon's not quote-unquote digital. Amazon is the entertainment choice for a lot of people in this country.
Yeah.
And I think when you look at the deal that they're talking about, and from what TV sources have told me, they're not talking about just streaming games. They're talking about a complete entertainment package. They're talking about a docuseries similar to Hard Knocks. They're talking about all kinds of one-off content. They're talking about folding NIL money into all of these deals. Like, Amazon's not looking to just carry games and then go about their business. They're looking to be the college football, the NFL, the NBA, because don't be surprised if the NBA is on a place like Amazon. But what also did Brett Yormark say in that video? He talked about ESPN Plus, which we've told you repeatedly. Our sources have been telling us that ESPN wants the right to stream games on their platform. Facts. ESPN wants the right to do inside the Big 12 and do these docuseries type programming, because that's what these conferences now require. It's no longer good enough to say, well, yeah, we'll put your games on Fox and ESPN, and you'll pay us a lot of money to do that, or
right.
Like, that's not what it is anymore.
Right.
It's, hey, okay, well, as ESPN, we're going to give you, $100 million a year. And we're going to put, 2 of your best games on the ESPN family of networks. And we're going to do a docuseries on, ESPN Plus. And we're going to have a daily show on the Big 12. And like, you're going to just keep doing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And it only gets bigger and bigger. And so I know it seems like almost a ridiculous question. I do think Amazon is controlling college football expansion right now, because when you look at where the Big 12 and the Pac-12 are specifically, because I think the Big 12 and the Pac-12 need Amazon. I think it's not optional. I think they need Amazon to survive. Especially in the Pac-12, I think without a major streaming player coming in, and again, remember what we're talking about, Amazon and the Pac-12, I think in best case scenario, Amazon at B tier 2.
Right.
Which means the second best game of the week, that second, third best game of the week would be on Amazon Prime Video. One on Friday night, one on Saturday night. I think that's what you'd be looking at, because remember already, the Big Ten with USC and UCLA has that NBC deal where it's going to be, Big Ten After Dark. And it's going to be that late night West Coast Big Ten game that, in my opinion, is going to feature teams like USC and Oregon, because I do think Oregon and Washington end up in the Big Ten. I think that's what you're going to see. But how is that possible? Well, it's only possible if Amazon comes on and, new membership joins the Big Ten, and they're able to afford to pay those new members without taking money out of their current membership's pocket. That's the only way Big Ten expansion makes sense. And speaking of expansion, Brett Yormark, who by the way was at UCF yesterday, doing he's been going around to all of the members of the conference, and he was at UCF, and so he was also asked about, what are you looking for in the Big 12 if you're going to expand?
You talked a little bit about expanding. Is that something maybe you have to do, maybe because to provide a little bit of stability?
Well, first of all, I love the composition of this conference right now. The 8 continuing members and the new 4 members. And very proud of kind of what's been done prior to my arrival, especially on the expansion front. So we don't have to expand. Only if it's additive, only if it creates value, only if it gets us into a 4th time zone. And another component, it needs to be the right cultural fit, whatever that member institution is. We've got great alignment right now amongst our board, amongst our member institutions. We can't compromise that at all. As much as I think about expansion, I'm also very happy where we are today. And if a year from now, it's just, the 12, that's great. No problem with that at all.
That guy is just smooth.
Yeah.
I mean, he is. Remember, he came from Rock Nation. Like, this is an experienced operator.
Yeah.
And I compare him to George Kliavkoff in the Pac-10. Listen to the difference. You just saw Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12. Here's George Kliavkoff, the commissioner of the Pac-10.
How many UCLA coaches and athletes have you spoken with to assess their thoughts on the move to the Big 10?
I think saying hundreds would be an exaggeration. Dozens, more than 100. And I have yet to talk to anyone in the UCLA and USC community who's in favor of the move. I will say that I probably hear from folks who are not in favor, right? Not surprisingly.
I mean, he's just not polished. This is the same guy in Kliavkoff, and I know you're probably tired of hearing me railing this guy, but this is the same guy who in that same press conference that was at Pac-12 Basketball Media Day, he was asked, okay, well, hey, George, you said that you had penciled some numbers out about how UCLA would lose money. Can you tell us what those numbers are? You can go. His answer was, well, go look them up. Well, you did give them to the UC Board of Regents. Yeah, you can go look it up. It's, you can go find the numbers.
Yeah.
So you don't have the numbers, and you're not willing to share the numbers that you say are absolutely rock solid and prove that UCLA shouldn't go to the Big Ten. Like, George Kliavkoff to me strikes as this guy who's desperate and just throws stuff against the wall in hopes. And when you say things like, well, we did some, we penciled it out on the back of an envelope.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, what are you when you're talking about the livelihood and the survivability of these universities and of these programs, you can't pencil it out on the back of an envelope and then refuse to answer the question.
Yeah.
Because when you then are compared to your competitor and Brett Yormark, it makes you look like a fool.
Yeah.
And I think George Kliavkoff, instead of being this great replacement, right, for Larry Scott, who was by all accounts an abject failure as a commissioner. Larry Scott, the former commissioner of the Pac-12, was an abject failure. George Kliavkoff was supposed to be this operator, this tactician that was going to come in and elevate the Pac-12 to this new level, and he's done anything but. He looks desperate. He panders to guys like John Wilner, and John obviously has a huge following. He's very good at what he does. I'd probably be pandering to him too.
Yeah.
But it's surprising the lack of facts that he has provided, like when he went on John Wilner and John Canzano's podcast and they did nothing to back it up. Like, they didn't ask him follow-up questions.
Nope.
And I think John Canzano is absolutely a clown. I think the guy just is a shill for the Pac-12 because he never has facts. He never asks backup questions, never asks follow-ups, never asks for foundational cementing information. George Kliavkoff is running around out west unchecked.
Yeah, and I think there's no structure to his messaging. There's no, like direction or, like strategy or anything. Like with Yormark, you can clearly tell that there is this sort of this sort of, hey, we're looking forward, right? We're pushing forward. We're happy with where we are now, but also in that same light, we want to make sure that our future is secure, and whether we're talking streaming or expansion or whatever the case may be, we want to make sure that we're in a good spot moving forward. And everything that he says, and every time I hear him speak, that's sort of, it's always in that sort of bubble, if you will.
Yep, I agree. Game of the weekend, according to Eric and Raleigh, is East Carolina over BYU. We'll find out about that.
Yeah.
MY Monty fan says, I'm curious to know what the deal really was with Cam Rising. Hope he's okay. They will need him down the stretch. But yes, Boyd Lake, I agree. Second stringer played pretty good before I fell asleep. I think he's injured. I think he's been dealing with a knee injury. Boyd Lake says, do you think it was load management by the Utes? I absolutely do not. I do not. Barfing Chicken said, to be honest, I like watching games where both teams suck. It's kind of funny seeing who can punt the most. Okay. Chris Taylor says TCU versus West Virginia or Okie State versus K-State. Well, the Oklahoma State game's actually a pretty big game.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. Boyd Lake says, does Amazon Prime have the coverage for it to be a good deal? Oh, I mean, what coverage do you need other than it's available worldwide on any phone or tablet?
Yeah, and that's kind of the X
and
factor.
smart TVs.
Yeah, like with DirecTV, that's kind of the limitation there. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, whether we're talking about the reason we got on the YouTube, a year and a half ago or whatever it was, or like why college football is going to Amazon, it's the cell phone. That's like, it's that simple. You have to be on the phone.
Yeah, and I think that was specifically the reason that we did it, because Periscope, the live streaming app on Twitter, went away, and we knew we needed a long-term fit. And you look at the numbers, I mean, our reach on tablet, frankly, YouTube puts you on phones, tablets, computers, and TVs. I mean, the number of people that watch our show on televisions is pretty remarkable. Now, it's not close to the number of people that watch this show on a TV and on a tablet, but the point is, when you look at Amazon Prime is anywhere you want to watch it, and I think that's really the message when you're talking about your game rights, your television rights. You have to be where the consumers want to be found, and there are some people that want to be found on TV, and there are some people that want to be found on mobile. And Amazon Prime can meet you anywhere you want to be. That I think is the big deal. The biggest stories in sports on the Monty Show are presented by Quick Quack Car Wash, as is our Football Friday show every Friday during the football season. Football Friday presented by Quick Quack Car Wash. Make sure that you get it. By the way, did anybody see over the next 10 days the rain and snow that's in the forecast? You better have a wash pass, friends.
That salt's coming out on the road, man.
Yeah, you're going to need it.
Okay, guys, I'm going to tell you the secret to impressing my neighbors, the Wyatt coworkers, you name it. I just swing by Quick Quack. It seriously takes 2 minutes, and people can't stop, won't stop checking me out. Getting a clean car is definitely my best life hack. Kids are messy, camping's dirty, but my truck sure isn't.
Yep, Quick Quack Car Wash, easy, quick, efficient. I love, even when they're busy, it takes 5-7 minutes to get through their line.
Yep.
The people are friendly, and they have those wash passes that are really, those memberships that are really affordable. And I think in our climate, when you have all the rain and snow, I can tell you during the wintertime, I get my car washed twice a week. And they just do a fantastic job. That's why we partner with our good friends at Quick Quack Car Wash here on the Monty Show. Let's get some more of your comments in here. Cody Strickland says, I wish Amazon bought the Jazz and made them their own channel. And is the Jazz going to upset the Nuggets today? Or will reality sink? Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're 8-point dogs in that game. And I don't know if they lose to Denver. Is it reality sinking in?
No.
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say reality would sink in if the Jazz lose to the Nuggets. And I mean, the number on that game is 229.
Jeez.
Which is, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's a high number.
That's 115 points per team. Like, that's incredible. So I think you're going to see that Ryan Smith and the Jazz are going to come correct with a media package. I really do. I think they know that that's the minimum.
Yeah.
That is the minimum. Kurt Meyer says, I was surprised to find the Utah game streaming live last night on YouTube. Oh, I didn't even know that. that it was on YouTube last night. Boyd Lake says, I agree with Jake. I hate going in and out of a ton of apps. I hate commercials, so I like to go back and forth between games and shows, but loading apps to make the change is a pain. No, I don't disagree with that.
Well, I think this conversation around internet speed is also really interesting because, like, I pay about $88 a month for DirecTV because I have the basketball package, League Pass. I have League Pass. I also have the NHL package because I like watching hockey. So, like, I have a couple of extras because I like watching sports. But I agree with you. If Amazon said tomorrow that they're going to roll out a all-inclusive, right, where you get all sports, but maybe that limits, like, other, news channels or something you got or something, like if it was sports-specific, I would be willing to entertain that idea, for sure.
If YouTube TV had a whole encompassing package, I'd entertain that. Like, I'm ready. You know what? I love DirecTV. I've been a DirecTV customer for
ages.
My God. Yeah, I mean, at least 25 years. Going back to, man, even when I lived in I mean, it's been like 20. That's crazy. It's been going on 20 plus years. It's insanity. I love DirecTV, but it's expensive and it's not all encompassing. I mean, when you're paying for things like the League Pass and you're paying for things like Center Ice, and it gets expensive. I mean, you can spend $400 a month on your TV options, right? And I think for me, frankly, it's a tax write-off, so I actually don't mind doing that. But it's not cheap. And I think the reason that I stay with DirecTV is I like the sports. I'm paying for the sports. Now, frankly, League Pass on DirecTV is not that expensive. It's $99 for the year.
Yeah.
So it's not like some huge number, but it is, it can add up quickly. So my point in all this is I agree with Boyd. I don't love that I have to go from DirecTV and then, hey, I got to pull out the TV remote and flip to Prime. And I agree. I don't like watching commercials.
Well, and you and obviously me, we don't. It's not like we have like young kids running around either. I mean, imagine families who have youngsters who want to watch their stuff too, and it's like it just becomes endless.
Just think about the way you watch TV.
Yeah,
and think about how having something like Amazon would impact that. Eric in Raleigh says, who watches full football games on Sundays anymore? Red Zone channel or nothing? Yeah, I have the Sunday ticket. And this is the last year of the Sunday ticket on DirecTV. Again, who's a major player for the NFL Sunday ticket? Amazon. I mean, it's crazy to me that, and by the way, you know who else is a major player for the NFL Sunday ticket? The NFL.
Yeah.
Because the NFL has an app. And if you look at the NBA is going to that model as well. And it makes you wonder, like, what is the future of cable? What is the future of DirecTV?
Yeah, well, I don't know. And I think what my mind goes to is who's going to be who or what company is going to revolutionize the content consumption industry by giving us or creating an all-encompassing product. Because that's what it is. That's what we're sitting here talking about. Hey, we need something that gives me every league that I want to watch, right? It gives me the ability to choose a certain select option of shows. So, like, I want to be able to have NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB in one package. Then I want to add Chicago PD and Law and Order and this show and that show, right? And then I want to add ESPN. I want to add whatever I want, and I want to pay a certain amount for that. Who's going to come up with that? That's the question. Because once that happens, the game's over. DirecTV will be dead. Like, everything will be dead once that happens.
I think the question becomes, how do you want to watch TV anymore?
Yeah.
And frankly, for me, I agree. Again, not to keep saying I agree with Boyd, but he is brilliant. I want one option.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And it's probably not realistic. You're probably going to have to flip app to app and platform to platform. But I think I would safely say the next 5 years, I don't think my TV watching will change. I think I will continue to have DirecTV in some form or fashion, and I will continue to use Amazon or, like we don't subscribe to Netflix anymore.
Right. Neither do I.
Which is kind of nutty. But yeah, Eric, I don't watch whole football games anymore. You know, with the Sunday ticket, I flip around quite a bit. Jerem Patterson, good morning, Jerem. If games are on that I am interested in, I don't care if it's Nick Jr. I'm subscribing and getting my Papa Murphy's pizza and kicking my feet up. First world problems. That's how we like to. What did we do last night?
Yeah, got Papa Murphy's pizza, put it on the smoker, watched. What did we watch last night? What were we watching? We were watching the Nets game last night. We were watching. What else were we watching? Man, we flipped around a lot last night. Last night was a flip around night, I feel like. And then obviously Utah. So yeah, I mean that's kind of how I feel like we like to do it, especially in Utah when you have seasons and you have you have the cold season coming in, like you get the fall breeze and it just is, you're in the fields, man, and it's really nice to.
You're in the fields.
Yeah.
Did you just say you're in the fields,
Yes.
man?
Yes.
Is that what you said there?
Yes.
Wow, that was impressive. I'm all up in my fields.
Yeah.
How are you doing, by the way, being single? Is your forearm tired this morning, or like what's the
No, I'm fine. I'm improving.
Do you feel better today than you did yesterday? You were a miserable SOB yesterday.
Yeah, it's not fun.
It's not fun. But yeah, we were watching NBA hoop. We were watching a little NFL Thursday night football. And then 8 o'clock when the Utes game came on, we flipped over to the Utes game. And it was awesome because, we got the Papa Murphy's pizza. Use promo code Monty25. Jerem, I hope you do the same. Use promo code Monty25 to save yourself 25% off your purchase of $25 or more. I can tell you we ordered a 16-inch and a medium veggie pizza for Mrs. Monty, who's a vegetarian, which pretty much means I'm a vegetarian.
Obviously.
And because I'm a vegetarian,
yeah,
you're pretty much vegetarian. Saved us $9 last night.
It's nice, dude.
I mean, it's a pretty good savings. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys supporting the sponsors of the show. Jerem, good for you. Renee Roca says, I'm not watching a football game on a phone unless I'm on the go. I think that when we talk about first world issues, I think that could be one of those. I think there's a lot of people who would love not to watch it on a phone.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people whose only option is to watch it on a phone. I think in today's day and age where we kind of take our own existence as everybody's existence, there's a lot of people who don't have access to phones. There's a lot of people who don't have internet. So and think about that. There's a lot of people in this world and in this country who don't have internet. They don't have internet at home. They have burner phones, so it's just, it all depends on your situation. Eric in Raleigh says when Verizon had the NFL add-on, they blocked people from connecting their phones to the TV. People don't want to watch things on a small phone screen. No, yeah. I think that's absolutely, and that's what Renee's point was.
Yes.
But I can tell you, I remember having Sunday Ticket when you were a high school baseball player. We absolutely watched a lot of football on an iPad and on an iPhone. I mean, we used to do that routinely. Kurt Meyer says 1 game on the TV and 1 on the phone. There you go. Boyd Lake says ESPN, Disney, and Hulu, are they big enough to beat Amazon Prime? I think ESPN and Disney are. Although the question is, can Disney execute at the level that Amazon has for Thursday Night Football? That's the big question. Because I think Disney would like to get involved in some form or fashion because you already have ESPN Plus, right? ESPN and Disney obviously are the same company. On the Disney platform, I don't know that works. On ESPN, yes, they can. The other one that you have to ask yourself, hey, can you execute, is Apple TV. Can Apple execute sports at a high level? I mean, they don't currently do that, right? I mean, they with MLS, they're going to. But think about college football, how much bigger. And I think college football specifically, there's a lot more of storylines in college football.
Yeah.
You have to respect history and tradition in college football. And I don't know that a new player like Disney, ESPN, I think could handle it. Hulu, I don't know. I don't know what the answer on Hulu is. I don't know what the answer on Apple TV is. I'll be interested to see how many MLS fans go to Disney or go to Apple, because I think there's a lot of MLS fans that are pissed. Like, is RSL football really RSL football without David James?
No.
Not on TV, it's not. Is RSL really RSL without Bill Riley calling it on the radio? It's probably not. So what are we going to get on Apple TV without David James? I think that's a huge question.
Yeah,
I think that is a huge question.
totally.
A big one. Salty Drunk says, I can't believe you think the majority of your subs are interested in streaming availability and leave the show with it. Come on. Well, what do you mean? Like, do you understand how big this story is? Like, Amazon is absolutely controlling college football.
This is a big story.
Yeah, it's a huge story.
Yeah.
I don't think it's even close. Eric and Raleigh says, getting away from Twitch was absolutely the right call. Twitch was never going to be a sustainable platform. It's not. You can't grow it. It's very difficult to monetize on it.
Yeah.
I think. Matt Ritson says YouTube TV, best unlimited DVD and cheap and got local channels. See, Matt, I agree with you. I really liked YouTube TV, but it's, to me, I think what would make me switch to YouTube TV? You've used it. You've had it.
Yeah, I didn't like that you couldn't get things like the League Pass inside of YouTube TV. That was kind of my struggle.
I think that's it. Yeah.
And my thing is, you have to understand. For me, I just don't. I'm not home a lot. Like, I'm not home a lot in front of my own TV.
I would guess, do you watch more TV at my house than you do at your house?
Yeah, like I'm not home a lot. Like, I'm not. So, like, the only thing that I really watch when I'm at my place is like basketball, or, like, I don't watch TV shows or anything like that. So.
And I got to tell you, with ESPN and TNT, I don't subscribe to Center Ice.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of hockey.
Yeah.
Right? So, I don't know. That's an interesting question, Matt. I don't know I'm not sure what it would take to force me over to that. You know what I mean? Eric and Raleigh says the NBA app is absolutely atrocious, but it won't always be.
Yeah.
I agree. The NBA app has a lot of technical issues, but I mean, they have the money and they are clearly evolving. So it's not great now. Renee Roca says, I watch full games, Cowboys and Chiefs every week. I never jump around. Really? I totally jump around.
Yeah.
I never sit on one game. Yeah. I don't. Boyd Lake says, NFL Plus, baby. That reminds me, guys. NFL on the 50 in 10 minutes. Wow, are we that far behind on comments?
Yeah.
Holy cow. Boyd Lake says, veggie pizza from Papa Murphy's is dope.
Yeah.
What is your favorite Papa Murphy's pizza?
The one we get. I love the barbecue sauce as a game changer. I know we say it every day, but like, when we did that, I was just like, wow, this is like a whole new world of pizza. Like, you go barbecue sauce with a good cheese. The traditional crust is definitely my go-to over the thin. And then I'm telling you, that you made the point about cherry pellets yesterday. Totally spot on. Cherry pellets with regular crust is where it's at.
Yeah.